The idea about the conditioned soul being in the spiritual world with Krishna, then coming here, it is exactly what the Christians say or the Muslims say, because it fits with the logical mind. In the logical mind, in the material world, everything has a cause and effect. One thing goes to another thing. But this type of preaching was done in the early days, beginning days of some spiritual movements, because the audience was primarily, because the whole audience was Western people, so they could easily accept this philosophy that we were bad and now we're being punished, and this is the prison, and if we be good boys and girls, then we'll get out of prison and go back to where we came from. So that's nice. You know, if you're good, you sit in a class. If you're bad, you stand in the corner. But this, you have to study more. Old subject. And for many devotees, they're way beyond having to understand this or needing to understand this. But for some devotees, it's always a new subject, because if the wrong philosophy is perpetuated, then anyone who comes in contact with the wrong philosophy will continue to learn the wrong philosophy. And if the origin of the philosophy is the founder, then it becomes a little difficult to present something new. The question is asked about, well, many people tell me in Vrindavan, I met many devotees, they tell me that we were in the spiritual world at one time. With Krishna we became envious and we want to enjoy like him. And he said, no, there's not any room up here for two. You have to go. And so we were cast down here to the material world, and we're rotating life after life and trying to get back there. So that's one philosophy, but then, which I've heard many people tell me, I've heard many classes. But then when I read Krishna's teachings in Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna is saying in at least 4, maybe 5 different verses, he's talking about someone who comes to me, they never return. Yad gatva nanivartante. So chapter 15, verse 6, and chapter 4, verse 9. Many verses. I used to have a whole list, but those two can't come to mind. 15:6 and 4:9. So how is it? Krishna is saying, you never come back from here, and someone's saying, no, you came back. Because I remember when I joined, we would say, well, Krishna said if we go back there, and this question was even asked by the founder, well, if we do go back to Krishna, is there a chance that we may come again? And the answer was given, yes, there's always a chance. The jiva is always independent, and it can come back. Because that has to be there to support the idea we independently came here to begin with. So first of all, the idea of independence is totally wrong. There's no independence. Everything's controlled by Krishna. And the fact is, this is the fact, that we are conditioned souls, and we're living in this world, in this Maya Jagat. You have to understand some basic facts, Hare Krishna. This material world is eternal, nitya. The jivas are nitya. The spiritual world is nitya. God is nitya. So we've eternally been here in this material world. Anadi Bahirmukh says in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Since beginningless time, there's no beginning. Because if something's eternal, there's no beginning. And only Krishna is telling there's an end to this beginning, but it's not an end of us. It's just an end of our position here. In other words, in one sense, there's not an end, because the material world, when we get liberated, the material world doesn't stop. And we don't stop. We're eternally now living in the material world, and we get liberated, and we go to the spiritual world and live there eternally and never come back. Now the argument that's given, why, if everything's so blissful in the spiritual world and so much pure love there, where is the room for envy? First question, if it's called Prem Dham, how do you become envious of Krishna? So they say you become envious, but everyone's... Because we read Prabhupada's books and it says everyone in the spiritual world, whether they're a tree in Shanta or whether they're in Dasyaras, serving, or a friend, or a mother or father, or a lover or a wife, they're all completely satisfied and blissful. They're not thinking, oh, I wish I was a gopi. Oh, I'm a tree. I don't like being a tree. I wish I was a bird. And I don't like being a bird. I wish I was a deer. I don't like being a deer. I wish I was a cow. Oh, I don't want to be a cow. I'd rather be a cowboy. They don't. That's the Chaitanya Charitamrita says everyone is completely blissful. And then if you say, well, sometimes they say we're envious, so there's no envy. Then the other argument is they say, well, we want to enjoy like Krishna. But that argument's also defeated because you want to enjoy like Krishna, just like, and so there's no envy. And the proof of there's no envy is that you want to enjoy like Krishna, so Krishna says, all right. He'll give you a whole spiritual world. That's what it means, Sarupya Mukti. You want to enjoy like Krishna. You want all the opulence. You want your own goddess of fortune. That's Sarupya Mukti. Everybody has Sarupya or Samipya. They all have desire. But even Vaikuntha, there's desire for myself. Because I want Sarupya. That's why Lord Chaitanya says, I don't want any Mukti. Because Mukti is a desire. It says Mukti and Karma is one song by Narottam Das Thakur. It says, Vishaya Kanda. It says, Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Vishaya Karma Bandha. Narottam Das Thakur is saying that Kanda means the practice, the followers, the Gyanis, or the people following karma, which is 90% of India, or 99%, doing something or doing some puja to get some result, or doing some yajna to get some result, or doing some tapa to get some result. That's karma. And then again, they want also a result, but they want to merge into Brahman or get mystic cities. So he said these type of practices these are pots of poison, Vishaya, Visha Bandha. These are just pots of poison. So the point of that we want to enjoy like Krishna, Krishna says, okay, you want to enjoy like God? You want the same form as God? Okay, Sarupya Mukti. Okay.